let's talk about Dragon Ball Super and the latest episode, okay? Because after I watched the episode, I'm not gonna lie, I was really entertained by the fight. The fight was extremely good. It's very rare that I get entertained by anything. I'm not easy to entertain or surprise. So I give them, their props for that. But the only thing about the fight that did not make sense to me is what I'm going to be talking about in the entire review, okay? So let's start with the first point that I made, and that is Vegeta being out of energy. Vegeta is out of energy, meaning that he cannot transform or do anything which requires ki or stamina. Beerus actually stated this and said Vegeta has used everything he has, but for some reason he did not just go Super Saiyan Blue, which we know is very taxing and drains a lot of stamina. He was able to go beyond Super Saiyan Blue, which does not make sense if you do not have any power left, okay? Willpower alone is not good enough in order to transform, okay? You need to have the resources required, which is stamina and ki, which Vegeta did not have. So it is impossible for him to be even fighting at the moment, let alone fire ki blast like he did in this episode. Next point is 17's sacrifice, which is impossible, okay? Now, there were a lot of people which I had conversations with which were damage controlling this shit, saying 17 was actually sacrificing himself using ki. Now obviously he can use ki, but he uses another source of energy, and the thing is, why I say that this is impossible is because androids require a bomb in order to detonate, okay? Android 16 tried to take away Cell with him, however he failed because his bomb was taken away, meaning that he cannot detonate. If he could have used ki, he would have used it. Android 16 is not stupid, but he didn't, because for an android to detonate, which is the rules which were established, and Dr. Rigeros installed a bomb in them for that purpose, they need to have the bomb in order to detonate. Now, if you remember, Krillin actually wished away the bombs in Android 18 and 17 back in Dragon Ball Z, so Android 17 should not be able to self-detonate, and they specifically said he self-detonated, okay? They used the word detonate, and something that detonates is a bomb. That shouldn't be possible, alright? And if you have some answer to this, let me know in the comment section down below. Now let's get on to the next thing, which is Jiren's backstory. At this point in time, we don't, or I don't care about Jiren's backstory, because the only thing that it is relevant to is Jiren's wish. Now Jiren said, I wish, or I seek something that lies beyond strength. We don't know what that is, and apparently it ties to his backstory of an evildoer who killed everyone except him and keeps leaving him alone for some reason. But the question is, what does him seeking for something that lies beyond strength have to do with his backstory? At this point, I don't think we need a backstory of Jiren. We just need to know how they will defeat Jiren, because at the end of the day, Universe 7 is going to have to win, Jiren is going to lose, and his wish is not going to get granted in the first place. You don't need a villain who has a tragic backstory in order for people to feel for him. And that is what a lot of writers do with these modern day animes. They just create tragic backstories in order for you to like these characters. But a character can be equally liked by not having a past but having a present. Let's talk about Frieza. Frieza is one of the most liked characters in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, and the thing is, Frieza does not have a backstory. He actually has a story talking about things he has done, and these have been told by people. That's built up Frieza, and Frieza's character and demeanor is why people actually like him. That is another way of developing villains, except from giving them a tragic backstory, or any other characters a tragic backstory. That stuff has been done to death and I don't want to see it. Now let's talk about Jiren in himself, okay? Because there is something going on here which doesn't make sense at all, okay? And that is the fact that they have nerfed Jiren, okay? Remember when Jiren first got introduced, Goku could not even see Jiren move, but then he was in his base form. So obviously after he turned Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and tried to attack Jiren, he couldn't do anything to Jiren. Jiren trashed Goku in Kaioken Blue, right? And ever since then, Jiren has actually powered up, meaning he should be stronger than he actually was. Remember in Dragon Ball Z when someone Jiren powered up after you thought you had the upper hand. What happened? You got trashed because you let your opponents power up. Jiren powered up twice, okay? The second time, he had more than like 10 auras behind him, meaning that this guy is business. But for some reason, Kaioken Blue Goku and Beyond Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta can actually keep up with this guy when Kaioken Blue could not do anything when Goku first used it against Jiren. That doesn't make sense. The person who was able to take a shot at Jiren and actually succeed is Android 17. Reason why is apparently because Jiren let his guard down. Remember the episode when Vado said that Jiren does not have any weak points and never let his guard down? Like, this has happened when Hit actually tried to attack Jiren straight after the whole Ultra Instinct thing ended. But for some reason, in this episode, he let his guard down multiple times and 17 was able to take a shot. Like, it feels like ever since the first episode of this whole tournament thing, or after the whole Ultra Instinct thing, all the talk about Jiren was nothing but just trash talk in order to get the opponents nervous, or at least get the watchers or, you know, the fans of this anime nervous, thinking Jiren is going to be a huge obstacle for Universe 7. But if they do not fuse and they take Jiren down without fusing, then that shows that everything so far said about Jiren, about him being stronger than his God of Destruction, is nothing but trash talk. And if that is the case, if they do beat Jiren, if Goku does beat Jiren, then that means that Ultra Instinct Goku himself is stronger than Belmont, because apparently Jiren is stronger than his God of Destruction. One thing I do agree with Jiren is about power. The people who have the highest amount of power are the people who have the say, or actually determine your fate for you, because they have the power. And the whole point of Jiren's motivation to become stronger is to make sure that no one can tell him what to do, or no one can overpower him. And that could be a good reason for him to surpass his God of Destruction, meaning that his God of Destruction cannot tell him what to do. But then why abide by your God of Destruction's rules? That doesn't make sense. And shouldn't Belmont be concerned that Jiren is more powerful than him? Because if that is the case, and if that is true, Jiren could just defeat Belmont and become the new God of Destruction, meaning that he is the highest authority in his universe. Why doesn't Jiren do that? Why does Toppo want to become the God of Destruction? Frieza gets trashed around like he's nothing, and Frieza is arguably stronger than Android 17. How comes he is getting trashed around but Android 17 gets a lucky shot, and he is possibly the weakest one out of all the Universe 7 characters available on the tournament platform right now? That doesn't make sense. And speaking of Frieza, I think they have underutilized Frieza as a character, because they brought this guy in to show off his new transformation, and you know, they even gave him a unique animation for all that kind of stuff, and he's only fought a few times in his golden form. I felt like that was a waste of character, or a waste of animation, a waste of story, or something they could have added to this character. But then again, Frieza's a crook, so he's just gonna be Frieza. And it's kind of sad how they underutilized them, even though they kicked Majin Buu out for this guy. Another thing that doesn't make sense is how Goku and Vegeta are gonna recover. That doesn't make sense. I don't know how realistically a person can recover in a few seconds. I know their minutes and seconds are different from us in real life, but it just doesn't make sense. They need to actually hire better writers, and I'm happy that they are postponing this whole show to write something different. Why not start a different story with different power skills? But because at this point they're so strong to the point where they actually match up against gods. Okay, introducing gods was a bad idea, and they need, you know, writers, someone, or at least one person who can just write the entire thing instead of multiple writers writing, you know, random shit. This is not a good product. They should really think about what they do next time when they want to make a new series. If you still cannot believe that this product is bad, let me give you a few examples, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 examples. From start, middle to end, right, the story was bad. From start, we had a lot of rehashes from arcs, which was bad, and had a lot of retcons with the whole Captain Ginyu shit. And then in the middle, we had the retcon with the whole, you know, Trunks learning about, and then we have the whole, you know, bullshit ass pull of Trunks learning the Spirit Bomb out of fucking nowhere. And now we have Jiren, whose power has been nerfed. And the second thing is, remember the audience in the Tournament of Power, right? It was established that humans, or people who do not know anything about God Ki, cannot sense God Ki, but for some reason these guys sitting there, the Earthlings from Universe 7, without any training, without any knowledge about God Ki, can finally sense God Ki out of nowhere. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. It is a lot of bad writing from the writers. Pick one writer, sit him down and let him plan the entire thing, or get a lot of writers, sit them down, let them plan at least 10 episodes together, and then, you know, keep doing that for every single episode next time you release a new series, because this is abysmal and hopefully that never happens again. With that being said, that has been the video. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section down below. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. But I did warn you that this is going to be a rant, so I do not want you to be writing random shit about me ranting or complaining when I did state at the start of the video that I was going to, okay? I have nothing more to say. Bye.